Hi guys, welcome to my channel Candy Kitchen. My name is Lily and today I'm going to be making quiche. For today's recipe, you're going to need half a pumpkin, some rocket, 5 eggs, some jarred capsicum, 1 sheet of puff pastry, and some herbs and spices to go on our pumpkin. Oh, and some feta cheese. So our first step is actually to cut the pumpkin so that we can get that roasting in the oven while we do everything else. So I'm going to show you how to cut the pumpkin. Okay, so when you're cutting the pumpkin, you want to start by cutting it in half like this. You're going to keep your smaller half and cut off this little stalk. Next up, you're going to want to take the skin off the side of the pumpkin using the knife. So what you're going to want to do is you want to cut it like this, so that a little bit chips off, and then cut down like this. So as you can see here, we have a section that has no skin, and you're going to want to repeat that all the way around until there's no skin on the side. Now that all the skin is off your pumpkin, you're going to begin cutting it into discs like this. So now that our pumpkin's cut up into discs, we're going to begin cutting it into cubes. They may not look perfect, but that's fine because it's going to get eaten anyway. Just make sure they're in a cube-like shape.
Out of this paradise, I'm talking syncopated breathing, love every evening, going 3, 6, 5, dancing every night, fading in and out of feeling. Permanently high. I'm talking you and I, going 365. Sunrise and summer skies, we're never far from home. I'll always keep an eye up on the road. Cheap clubs and coffee cups are all we'll ever know, but anywhere with you could feel like Rome.
going to be putting some oil and some spices on this pan so that the pumpkin cooks the spices. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is get some olive oil and just drizzle that over. And next up you're going to begin with all your spices. So the first thing I'm going to put on is salt and just crack it around the pan. Next I've got some coriander leaves. This is also an optional thing, you guys don't need to do this, but I just do it to flavour up my pumpkin every time. Then I have some tarragon leaves. Some onion powder. Some all-purpose spicy. This one is hot. Then lastly, I have some vegeta. So now that this is all flavoured up, we can get our pumpkin and begin spreading it on the pan. Once that's all done, you're going to want to turn on your oven and turn it up to about 180 degrees Celsius. So now that our pumpkin's in the oven, we're going to begin putting the pastry onto the dish and then putting all other ingredients in and making our egg mixture so that when the pumpkin's done, we can put it straight in. Okay, so now we're going to put our puff pastry in. We're going to flip it over this way and try to put it evenly over, although sometimes some will get a little bit more. Then we're going to take off the blue. And done. So our next step is putting our capsicums in the bottom of the pastry. So now we can put all of these in the bottom of our pastry. You can choose to cut them up if you like. Okay, now that's done, we can put in some rocket. And next up we can put in our cheese. You can just break off a chunk of that and then begin crumbling it over your other ingredients. So now it's time to make the egg mixture. For this part, you're going to need 5 eggs, some milk, salt and pepper, and then some optional herbs. So I'm using fresh ones today. You guys can use dried ones or just salt and pepper. any of them is fine. So here I've got some basil, some dill, some thyme and some chives sliced up. So before I crack the eggs, I'm just going to put those in there. Okay, so now we can crack the eggs, put in some milk and now you can take out any shells if any got left in there. If not, you can continue on, and now I'm going to be putting in some milk. So there's no specific amount, just a little blob like this. Well, not really a blob, a little bit more than a blob, but you know what I mean. Then after that, you're going to get some salt in there and some optional pepper. Now, the first thing I like to do when I'm making this egg mixture is just break all the yolk so it's a lot easier to mix. Once you've done that, you can just mix it. So once your pumpkin's cooked for about half an hour, next we're going to put the pumpkin in the dish and then the egg. So we're just going to put it in just like this. Once that's all in, you can spread it around a little bit. And then we can add our egg mixture. So now that all our ingredients are in here, we can put it in the oven, and then once it comes out, it'll be finished. So this is our finished quiche. You can serve it with a side salad or just by itself. It's perfect for a lunch, a dinner, or even a breakfast, and it goes really nice cold. So if you guys like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Bye!